Welcome to this edition of Channel 34 News with your hosts Tights Gunther and Edmund Hawkins and me, Scott McCluskey. We have a variety of news stories to share with you today. First, we'll be talking to you about the most recent national and international news. Let's get right into that. 4 dead. Search in a grain elevator continues. 2 more bodies have been recovered from the tunnel of an exploded grain elevator, bringing the death toll in the blast to 4, authorities said Wednesday. Meanwhile, rescue crews were digging through the debris in a race against time, hoping 2 other missing workers may still be alive. In Orlando, Robertson warns Orlando that gays bring hurricanes. Calling it a message of redemption, religious broadcaster Pat Robertson said one of Florida's biggest cities should be aware of hurricanes after allowing gay days last weekend. On Wall Street, an executive gave $1 million for free Viagra. Mr. Alan Greenberg, Wall Street executive, is donating $1 million to buy Viagra for impotent men who can't afford it. In Georgia on Tuesday, a man who had shot and killed a couple during a robbery at a service station, leaving 4 orphans, was executed in the electric chair. In other news, parents of a pregnant girl blame her boyfriend's mother. In what may be the first case of its kind in the nation, the parents of a 16-year-old girl who got pregnant by her high school sweetheart are suing the boy's mother, alleging the woman knew the teenagers were having sex and did nothing to stop it. In Virginia, a teacher employee was shot at a high school. 2 suspects were taken into custody on Monday after a shooting at Armstrong High School that left 2 school personnel wounded. Police said neither of the injuries was life-threatening. Toni Murden of Louisville, Kentucky, hopes to become the first American and first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat by herself. Exciting. Midwest, Northeast brace for more harsh weather. Residents in the Midwest and Northeast were bracing for more storms Monday after heavy rains and tornadoes wreaked havoc this weekend, flooding communities from Iowa to Maine. Okay. In international news, Monday, the hearing for Marines accused in the cable car accident. A U.S. Marine Corps pilot and navigator faced a military hearing Monday into their actions when the jet they were flying over Italy severed a ski gondola cable, killing 20 people. And finally, gas prices continued to decline during the past 2 weekends nationwide, reflecting an overabundance of available crude oil, the Lundberg survey reported Sunday. Okay, and now we're going to go to Edmund with some information on Claymation and some book reviews. Take it away, Ed.
Hello. My first book I reviewed was The Monkey's Whiskers by Anne Rockwell. I love this book so much that I made a shortened version of it in Claymation. It's a great story about an evil monkey who gets his whiskers shaved off and doesn't like it. So he goes around taking poor people's stuff, and it's around the 10th grade reading level, but I was still able to read it and enjoy this marvelous folktale. I gave it about 4 out of 5 stars. Next, I reviewed a book of poems called The New Kid on the Block by Jack Prelutsky. As you can see, here the artist has had a kind of sloppy style to his pictures, which is unique and attracted me to reading this book. Most of the poems are funny, but some are just plain dumb. For example, I'd never dine on dinosaurs or 40 performing bananas. These topics are so inconsequential to modern-day society. There is one poem, though, that really piqued my interest. It was My Sister is a Sissy. And me having a 8th grade sister, I'd like to read a little bit from this poem. My sister is a sissy. She's afraid of dogs and cats. A toad can give her tantrums, and she's terrified of rats. She screams at things with stingers, and things that buzz, and things that crawl. Well, I don't want to ruin the rest of it for you, but overall it was 3 out of 5 rating, and I'll move on to my next book. Finally, I read Marine Sniper. This was my all-time favorite book. It's a biography of a sniper in Viet Cong. It tells how he killed 93 people, including a little boy with ammo on his bike. And he shot him from around 1 to 2 miles away. I'll read a passage talks about this. Maybe now this boy would run away and leave the work of death to men. That hope rapidly vanished as the shaken lad grabbed the nearest automatic rifle and with a quickness gained from many firefights, jammed a banana-curved magazine into the weapon and raised the gun. Just as he began to shoot, Carlos Hathcock dropped him dead. I gave this a 5 out of 5. Now moving on to claymation. This past semester, I've been working on an interesting art called claymation. I go to an art store and get never hardened clay, and with my 8mm Sony Handycam, I record a creature that I've created in a position for about 1/8 of a second. Then I move him slightly, a little bit differently, in a new position, and record for another 1/8 of a second. I repeat this process until I'm done with the video, and it takes around 4 to 5 hours, maybe a couple days. It's very vigorous work. I have some footage of my latest work, and it's the book that I read, The Monkey's Whiskers, and I made it into claymation. Let's check it out. This is a place where the coconut trees grew taller, and the parrots called noisier, and the flowers are redder and larger than anywhere else in the world.
Oh, no, no, no!
High in the tallest coconut palm, a monkey lived. Passed his days full of mischief, swinging from tree to tree by his wonderful tail, and dropping coconuts on jaguars who tiptoed below and the alligators who swam in the river. One day the monkey decides to swing down from the trees and see the world. Past a bend in the river stood the little town, and in the town there was a barber shop. Looking inside, the monkey saw a barber shaving a man, and he wondered how he would look without his whiskers. He hopped into the barber chair and demanded that the barber shave his whiskers, and quickly at that. Although he had never shaved the monkey, the barber did. When he was finished, the monkey looked into the mirror and was unsatisfied with his new do, so he took it out on the barber. "Where are my whiskers?" "Oh. I want them back." Patiently and politely, the barber tried to explain that the whiskers could not be put back. The more he explained, the angrier the monkey became, until at last he said, "Then give me your razor." So he continued screaming and yelling at him until the barber finally gave in and gave him his best razor. This made him sad. The monkey walked through the town carrying a razor. He still was grumbling to himself himself about his lost whiskers when he came to a woman who was cleaning a fish down at the river's edge. Because she was poor, she only had a scrap of wood to scrape off the fish scales. "Here," said the monkey, pretending to be very kind and polite, "take my razor. You can use it, but please return it to me by tomorrow." Next day came, and the monkey was looking for his razor. But the lady was sad, for she dropped it in the river yesterday. So he took it out on her again. He found a solution, and he decided that the best thing was to take the fish that she had used this fish was for her children. Then the monkey came up to a lady with 4 children, all with pretty black, long, shiny hair. The lady wanted to see what was in his hands. The monkey showed her that it was a fish, and he kindly offered it to her. The children and the lady feasted. The next day came, and he was looking for his fish. "Where is my fish?" exclaimed the monkey. "I want it back." But the woman sobbed, for she had eaten it with her children, and she had nothing to give except her youngest daughter. They fought and fought until the husband came home, which turned out to be the barber. "I have a solution for you." "What?" "I can give you back your whiskers with a simple potion. Take this coconut and drink it." And sure enough, it worked. The monkey got back his whiskers and was content for the rest of the day. Wasn't that interesting? Now back to Scott.
Hello, viewers. Now we're going to take a short break, and we'll return after these messages. Henceforth, we await your arrival.
So you're out at a party, had a couple drinks with your friends. After the party, you want your car to be safe at home in your garage, and you want to be safe asleep in your bed. But what happens when you don't make it home safe? Then your car is going to end up here, like this. And what happens when you don't make it safe into your bed? Then you're going to end up sleeping here, permanently. Think about your future. Don't drink and drive.
As the first year of a deregionalized Governor Livingston comes to an end, we look back upon the new changes here. This year, we have new cafeteria ladies. We have a new cafeteria with many new foods, although I do miss the old fries. We have many new teachers, and we also have new times for classes. There's longer periods, and there's 2 extra minutes added at the end of the day. I talked to a few of the newer teachers, and some said it was very scary to come here on the first day, The students were great and the teachers here were very friendly. It's a positive experience and the administration is very cooperative, they're warm and friendly. The food here is pretty good. Lunch is way too short and computers are too old, but that's being fixed because of deregionalization. There's not too many violent students here, said by Mrs. Glazer, algebra and computer science teacher. Chris Mason, a student here, said that computer science would most likely be boring without new teachers such as Miss Glazer. Improvements are still being made, and many good teachers left last year because of the deregionalization once again. Some things weren't needed, such as the new lighting. Thank you. Now back to Scott.
All right.
Now,
I'm Edmund Hawkins, and I'm talking about TV classes in our school. Governor Livingston students are privileged to have a TV studio at school. That helps us explore the world of broadcasting. There are 2 levels of introduction of TV courses. In the intro class, students learn the fundamentals first of being able to speak on camera and how to conduct interviews with others. Students also learn how to operate much of the equipment in the studio, putting together music videos and interviews of all of the students in the class. In the advanced class, students work on independent projects that serve the school, taping certain activities, and putting together reports, announcements, and news programs, commercial videos, and public service announcements. These classes benefit students as they might one day become occupations that pay well. Now we'll show you an interview from the spring intro class, 1998.
hi, I'm George Tufik, here with John Basicolo, a junior at Governor Livingston. How you doing, John?
Pretty good.
All right, let's get started with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see, I'm a junior here, and some of my interests are guitar, photography, and let's see, I work at King's.
It's a good supermarket. All right. As you just mentioned, you're interested in computers. Is that just a hobby, or are you considering a job in computers?
I think that's going to be my job when I grow up.
You want to go to a technical school?
I'm not sure yet. Might be either college or technical school. Not sure.
Oh, sure. Like New Jersey Institute of Technology. It's a good school. All right. You just said you're interested in music. What instrument do you play? Guitar, right?
I play a couple of instruments. I play guitar, play clarinet, play piano, bass clarinet, learned how to play the flute, learned how to play trumpet. I don't know, there's a lot of them along the way.
Wow. It's a variety of interests there. I see you've brought us a few guitars. Would you like to play for us a little, although your finger's injured?
The middle one.
Would you like to play?
I can't really play that well because of my finger. I lost my pick.
Just place a few chords.
I guess. Can't reach my guitar.
Okay.
Anything in particular you'd like to hear, George?
Anything.
Keep asking the questions, though. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll think in the meantime.
If you could take 3 things to an isolated island that you were sent to for the rest of your life, what would they be?
3 things that I have to take with me would be, let's see, probably my guitar, because I enjoy playing that. I don't know, I need something to keep busy, because otherwise I go crazy. I'm one of those people that can't just sit still and do nothing. I don't know, any kind of an entertainment. Probably a radio, because I really enjoy music. I have all my CDs, a lot of batteries, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite childhood summer experience? Or any time up to present?
Not really. All my childhoods and summers have been good. There's been nothing in particular that stands out, really.
No. Do you have a traumatic childhood experience that might have shaped your life in any way?
No positive or negative way?
Yeah,
Just either way?
yeah.
No. I've led a
really?
pretty normal life.
Nothing out of the ordinary happened?
No.
All right, so you're a junior here at GL this year.
Are you looking forward to your senior year and beyond?
I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet beyond my senior year. I still have to decide.
Is senior year most important to you, do you think? Or maybe junior?
I don't know. Colleges look at, was it your junior or senior year they look at?
Everything.
I think they look at everything
Yeah.
either way. I don't know. They're all the same.
What about
One of
personally
the
for
4
you?
years. I think it's going to be a lot of fun because I don't have a lot of classes. I have more
Right.
electives and
Yeah.
stuff.
Do you have a role model or a parental figure in your life, someone you look up to or maybe model your life toward?
Not really.
No?
More of an individualist.
Or you want to set a tone for yourself? You told me before that your favorite show is South Park, a brand new show on Comedy Central. Why do you like that show so much?
It's just a funny show.
Just appeals to you on the comedy sense? All right, who do you relate to on the show? Is there anyone that's kind of like you in any way?
I'm not fat. I wouldn't relate to Cartman. Not really. They're all a little too whacked for me.
Or
Too poor.
you wouldn't like to be in like any of them?
No,
Yeah,
not really.
No.
They all have their own problems. I don't really need them.
Yeah. You said you like the X-Files a lot.
That's a
You're
good show.
ex-Philly, I guess. Do you believe in the paranormal?
I don't know. I'm not
Yes.
really sure about that. I really haven't given that much thought.
Well, since it deals with the paranormal, like, are you leaning a little more
I don't
toward
have a-
extraterrestrial?
I don't have like a set way of saying yes I do or no I don't. I kind of just believe what I believe as it goes.
All right. Do you have any goals for the future?
Not really. I kind of just live life day by day kind of thing. I don't really set many goals. I mean, I have like things like daily that I want to get accomplished, but nothing long term.
Nothing that you want to see fulfilled in your life? Something you want to do? Go somewhere? Meet someone certain?
No, not really.
No. Well, if you could visit any time, any place, I mean, anywhere during history, where would it be and why?
Wow. I would have to say. Can I go ahead in time?
Yeah, sure.
I'd probably go ahead in time because I'd like to see what's going to happen after I die. There's a lot of things that I'm going to miss out on. Because I'm more into like futuristic things than ancient things. I'm not a big historian kind of person.
So do you think like the interpretations of the future on like through science fiction or through TV are accurate or anything?
I don't know if they're accurate, but I think that's more interesting than, you know, the past.
Right. So you prefer the future much more. You ready to play anything for us?
Not really.
No.
I don't know what I can actually play, considering all factors.
All right. If there's anything you look back to on your life negatively that you would like to change, what would it be and why?
Well, can't really change anything because you're not going to know what kind of effect that's going to have on things later on. So even though at the time in which something happens it may be considered bad, later on in your life it could change something else. So it's kind of like the domino effect, so I wouldn't change anything. I'd keep everything the same.
All right, well, thank you, John.
I wish I could have played. It would
Yeah,
be fun.
It's
Thank you.
too bad. It's a nice guitar.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, John.
All right.
Wasn't that inspirational? Now back to Scott.
Hey. Now we're going to go over to Tice as he reports on the fight to skate. Tice, take it away, buddy.
Skateboarders have been fighting a war recently to keep their right to skate. In many areas across the country, skaters have been banned from skating because they reportedly disturb drivers and pedestrians. Hearings are continuously being held to determine the real effect on traffic, both on the sidewalks and on the streets. Skaters argue that they have a right to skate on the street no matter what. and that others have over-exaggerated the true threat that they pose. Others argue that the skaters are out of control and cannot control themselves from taking risks and doing tricks that endanger those around them. In this area, such fights have broken out among the people of the town, as there are many skaters from Governor Livingston. Back to you, Scott.
Okay, it's time to head into sports. We'll start out with some school sports from right here in GL. Softball team varsity ended its season at 14-7. They shared the championship of the Mountain Valley Conference, a truly great honor. Okay, the baseball team varsity boys ended the season at 21-7, were the state seasonal champions. Many of these players also made the all-area team. Tennis, led by Mr. Sexton, ended its season as the co-champions of the Mountain Valley Conference, and the boys track team ended its season at 2-3 in its dual meets, as did the girls track team. In other sports, the Bulls are the NBA champions, beating the Jazz in 6 games with a final score of 87-86 with last-second heroics by Mr. Michael Jordan. And the Stanley Cup, the Detroit Red Wings swept the Washington Capitals in 4 games and repeated themselves as Stanley Cup champions. The World Cup is underway in France. Brazilian team won their first game. The U.S. lost its first game to Germany. Okay, now we're going to head over to Ticeville as he does an interview on violence.
Thank you, Scott from Scottville. In the past few months, there's been a rash of school violence around the country. Guns and drugs are ever more present in our once safe institutions. 2 students played the roles of sharpshooting assassins in a real-life Arkansas drama. Both had premeditated lists of who they would kill. Since then, it has become commonplace to turn on a television and hear of another killing conducted by a student. Recently, a student of Oregon has killed his mother, father, and his teacher. New reforms are sweeping the nation in response to the violent killings. Gun shops are now requiring to sell safeties with all of their guns, and some concerned owners are even getting rid of their guns. Schools in bad neighborhoods are now incorporating police into patrolling the schools instead of simply relying on themselves to put students into line. In certain schools, students are also greeted at the door with metal detectors. Politicians all over are trying to cash in on the crisis, trying to bring about laws in the government that attempt to stop the slayings. Many, however, are blaming the parents that in many of these cases have taught the murderer how to use the weapons and gave them the right to have given them guns freely and willingly. However, in the end, there is certainly one thing to blame: society itself. This is Tice Gunther. Scott, back to you.
Okay, we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. She's not on camera, guys. Take it easy. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed our final project, another edition of GL News TV. Thanks a lot for watching. For Edmund Hawkins and Tice Gunther, I'm Scott McCluskey. And remember, if it's brown, drink it down. If it's black, send it back. Thank you.